Hello and welcome back to the Terminal Demo Series. I'm Hannah with Lightning Labs, and in this series we'll walk through using Terminal, your all-in-one node management tool from health checks, auto fees, loop, pool, and more. So at this point in the series, we've installed the Lightning Terminal daemon, LitD, and we've connected to Terminal on the web. So here we'll take a look around at just the home page and at health checks and at recommended channels. So here, the health checks right now are available for mainnet nodes. So for this portion of the demo, I've switched over to one of my mainnet nodes. So let's go ahead and have a look at it. You can see here right at the top, this node is doing pretty well at the moment. It passes all health checks. So let's take a closer look at what those health checks are and what it actually means to be passing the health check. So over here on this tab, you can get some more information about your node. Again, I can see a sort of brief summary of that health check. I'm also going to copy my node's pub key here. And we're going to go over to the Explore tab, and we're going to find, you can find your node here. You can type in the node alias, or in this case, I'm going to just enter in the pub key. And there we go. I can see all sorts of different information about my node. I get my nice little score up here. I can check out the current capacity of the node. I can see the age. This one's been up for 20 months. I have 3 of 15 good peers. That's cool. And here's my centrality measure. All kinds of information about where my node is located. And then let's come down here into these specific health checks. So you can see I'm passing all 6 of the health checks, but let's walk through what each one of these means. So it's important to note what a health check is actually measuring, right? These measures are not overly specific, as they are general measures for routing nodes. So if your node is specializing in sending payments or specializing in receiving payments, then it might not score very well here, and that might be just fine. It kind of just depends on what you're planning on doing with your node. But let's take a look through these different scores, and we'll just go over it briefly here. And I want to note that there's lots more information in these links right next to each health check. So if there's maybe a couple of them that you passed and a couple that you didn't, and you're curious as to what's going on, it's great to click on these links and do a bit of a deeper dive there. All right, so first one, node is online, and this one is pretty self-explanatory. Again, this is designed sort of routing nodes. So a routing node needs to be online to function, right? You can't perform well the routing node if you don't have good uptime. So that one's pretty simple. Second, we have plenty of channels. A routing node needs to have a decent amount of channels to route through. I think this node at the moment has about 14 active channels. So it's pretty decent. We can do some routing here. All right, good routing capacity. And here's where we get a little bit more complex, because this is a measure of your node, not only of the channels that it has, but whether or not those channels can be used to route payments. So it checks that there is enough capacity available in either direction to pass a payment through that channel on your node, right? Again, a lot more information available at this link here. All right, many healthy channels. So we want a decent amount of channels, and we want them to be healthy. And what is a healthy channel? Well, it's a channel that stays active and has some capacity and has some activity on it, right? And what we're talking about here when we're talking about channels, as far as health checks goes, is we're talking about public channels. So if you have private channels and those aren't getting a lot of activity or aren't always active, like that's not really going to impact you here. This is more regarding public channels. All right, so we have many healthy channels, and then we have channel stability. So does your node have good uptime, and do your public channels stay active? Right, and then many good peers. To score well here, your channel should be public and should reach out to other good routing nodes. Again, lots more information at all of these links. All right, so keep in mind that these are general measures for routing nodes, and if your node doesn't score well here, that's not necessarily a bad thing. Again, it all depends on what you're aiming to do with your node, but hopefully this gives you lots of insight. All right, so for this portion of the demo, I've switched back to my testnet node here, and we're going to go have a look at recommended channels. So you can see we're on the home page and we're on the channels tab, and we're going to scroll down till we get to recommended channels. So here we can see some information on these different nodes that are being recommended to us. We can see their rank, their alias. We can click here and get more information. We can see their centrality and their capacity. And then if we decided we liked this idea and we wanted to take this recommendation, we could open a channel with one of these nodes by pushing this button here. We won't dive into that in this video because we'll cover channel openings in much more depth in another video. So again, these are fairly simple recommendations. These are channels that, if opened, would be good for the network in general and increase network health. Opening a channel to one of these nodes is not only of benefit to your node and the new peer, but to the network as a whole, as it connects nodes on the outer edges, it decentralizes routing, and allocates capital where it is more likely needed. So we should note here that the nodes listed here are what we would consider stable peers, right? They are nodes that have passed 5 of 6 health checks and could benefit from some more connected peers. And we can have a look at some of these nodes. We could click on one of them here, get all kinds of different information. This one's been active for 21 months and a decent amount of peers. And you can see it passes a lot of health checks, but it's in need of some good peers. Cool. So let's recap what we did in this video. We are connected to Terminal on the web, and we've taken a look at our node's health check, and we've had a look at recommended channels. As always, you can check out docs.lightning.engineering for more information. And I'll see you in the next one.